It was. I was
That
like,
is
okay.
not true.
There was a
Not
20-year waiting list. Marry, get him. Okay,
A 20-year waiting list to marry her.
20 already.
No, it was either 20-year waiting list to get Giants tickets or marry her and get them right away. And I figured, okay.
They found him face down in his waffles, maple syrup dripping from his fake roll. Who did he see when he heard who was there?
Do you have any? Oh, no, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Do you have any fives?
I do not have any fives.
Fives. Oh, okay.
Go fish.
Fine. Your turn.
Do you have any jacks?
Yeah, actually. Damn it. There you go.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Oh, crap. I'm sorry.
Oh,
we're
doing something.
We're doing the podcast. I forgot about that.
Good.
Anyway, welcome out to
Good.
the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, August 29th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me. As always, is Mr. Beer Samurai playing cards with me because why are we playing cards?
Well, one, we're waiting for the damn song to end.
Well, that's true. That's the main reason. But
Yeah, that's the main reason. But it's also according to Hoyle Day.
happy according to Hoyle Day. Happy according to Hoyle Day.
And Edmund Hoyle is the one who laid down all the rules for
Yes.
card games.
Yes, he did.
Those that John doesn't adhere to. That's why he wins all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's not cheating if you know how to do it right?
It's not cheating if you don't get caught.
Well, that too. Anyway, so how are you on this fine evening, sir?
I'm trying to get these cards back into the box here.
I'm done already. They're in here.
I thought we were playing with the same deck because neither one of us is playing with a full deck.
Neither one of us is playing with a full deck, so I have half, you have half, and he's gone. Look at that. Amazing. I say he's playing with a half a deck, and he cuts out on me. That's amazing. So anyway, it's just me right now. I bring the guest on, although I do have to have one other thing to say to Mr. Samurai, who's popping back in right now. There you go. We're talking, me and the one listener,
screen.
the one listener, as to why you got mad at me for saying you're not playing with a full deck and you just popped off.
Well, it's just no, I haven't popped off yet.
I
want to put the cards down, and you know how some keyboards have like these extraneous keys across the top that you never know what they do. Some of them are volume,
right?
Some of them will switch over to like if you're doing like a presentation or something.
Right.
It's a good thing it didn't hit the PC power button.
That would have sucked because then it would have been a while before you. Brian and I would have been like halfway through the show by the time you came back.
Yeah. So what it did is it hit apparently the home button.
Gotcha.
Oh, there's a calculator button too.
Look at that.
Does it pop up the calculator?
And it pops up the calculator. But don't hit it because all of a sudden it'll log you off again and pop up the calculator.
No, it popped up the calculator. So, in case we need to do math. Oh, we can't.
No math on the show.
Okay, so the calculator button will not be touched.
Except on March 14th. That's the only day we do.
Okay, so the whole card thing was a shtick. That wasn't a shtick. That actually is really what happened.
It was really what happened. It wasn't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's. I need to disable some of those freaking keys.
It's actually also Happy National Lemon Juice Day.
Lemon juice.
For those of you that like whiskey sours.
Well,
last week was Whiskey Sour Day. Last week,
yeah, I was actually on with Tom.
Tom, yeah, he asked me to come on as well, but I was tied up doing a draft. So.
Well, it was fun because we started talking about comedians, and apparently the show got yanked for going against community standards. We're really not sure what did it. It may have been because I repeated an Andrew Dice Clay line.
That could be.
Could it be something about what he was doing while he was standing on line at the bank?
It might have just been for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That might have been the whole reason it was.
And not just because you recited an Andrew Dice Clay line and
No, it was that one line.
It was the line you used. So.
Yes, so it's very possible. I got pulled.
Exactly.
Yeah, so anyway.
It's also International Peppercorn Day for those who celebrate. And if you really want to. Lemon juice and peppercorns, you can, I think it can be Global Lemon Pepper Day. I think
there we go.
You should do that. So anyway,
but if you're going to do International Peppercorn Day, you need some Sichuan peppers, you need some telecherries. I think they're from India,
right? Because it's international. It's just not.
So you can mix them
exactly. All right. Well, I'm thirsty, so why don't we?
I'm thirsty too.
We need to bring our guest on.
He's already drinking.
He's already drinking. He's been drinking before we logged on to the show. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the show, as always, Mr. Brian Boak. How are you, sir?
There he is.
This is our third annual football tailgate kickoff show.
Yes, it is, and we have a lot of fun together, and I am actually drinking a very special beer that is a legacy beer that was never brewed, but I was going to brew it, but we closed Boaks before we got to that point. So I am drinking out of, let's say, the correct glass.
There you go, proper glassware.
Okay. I am drinking Three Blind Monks, which is a 9% Belgian triple that I brewed here.
Oh, this should be a fun show.
Now, to remind everybody that does remember your beer, your Boaks Beer. Two Blind Monks is a Belgian double, fantastic Belgian double. Three Blind Monks is the triple that never got brewed. It was slated to, and you never got to it before you closed. Fantastic closing party, though. I got to remember.
Yes. We had a killer closing party at some little bar in Little Falls.
Somewhere
I think I had some numbers or something like that.
Yeah, I went back the other day, and someone yelled at me to get out of their condo.
But the manager was like a degenerate.
He was an idiot. Just complete. That guy, I swear.
There was that one loudmouth bartender.
And she was just amazing.
Oh yeah. That female bartender was
pain in the
out of control.
Right. Anyway, okay. So how are you? What are you drinking, Dave? Brian had already said it. Put that up for my beer.
I'm drinking a Speed Castle from Three Floyds. They actually had this in the liquor store just downstairs, which is weird because it's not quite the communities that support craft beer.
And Samurai actually has a liquor store in his building. It's amazing, right?
Well, no, it's actually a building over.
Right. Well, it's downstairs anyway, so
it's downstairs.
It's very convenient.
I have a 4-tap kegerator downstairs. If that counts for anything.
I've got a 2-tap kegerator.
In storage.
In storage.
Yeah, that's worthless. That's completely worthless.
So this, as you can see, is a world-ending Pilsner, is what they call that. So
world-ending Pilsner, new style. Brewers Association just noted it.
So I figured that since it's a world-ending, I would put it in a human robot glass because what's going to end this world? Oh, let Johnny pour his first before we cheers. I'm just showing my glass.
Well, it's amazing and ironic that you poured it into a human robot glass. I do not have a human robot glass.
And this is actually planned before you told me what you're drinking tonight.
Exactly. Today I am drinking a Grüngeist German Pilsner from
these guys.
Human Robot. There you go. Right there. Grüngeist is actually, it's a new hop. It's been around for a couple of years. It's an amazing hop. It's one of my favorites.
It's a German variant or
no. It's an American hop.
Just give it a German name.
So yeah, Hophead Farms is the main distributor of that hop. But had it actually first time I had it was in a grisette in a brewery, Dangerous Man Brewing up in Minneapolis, and it was so tasty. So
nice.
Anyway, gentlemen,
now
cheers. Cheers.
Clink.
Clink. I'm in proper glassware too for me. So. Very good.
I'm in not proper glassware because a Pilsner does not go into a Stanga.
No, it does not.
But at any rate,
as long as it doesn't leak, it's a proper glass.
This is true.
All right, so
a waterproof boot would
have been probably the best. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Agreed.
I got you.
A world-ending Pilsner. What would be a proper glass for?
World-ending Pilsner. What's 0% alcohol beer because the world has ended. So it's
something. He's looking in his glassware. This can't be good. Oh, there you go. That's it. That has made an appearance on the show before.
I think that one would work for a world-ending Pilsner.
That has made an appearance on the show before.
It has. Usually on Halloween.
Halloween, right? Exactly. So, all right, gentlemen, are we ready for football? Are we ready for some football?
I've been to 2 games already. I don't know about you guys.
I almost went. I told you I almost went to I didn't go to the Jets. Obviously, I went to the Jet game. I almost went to the Carolina game. Did not get up there, but I will most likely be at the Cowboys game. I'm just waiting, but I will be at a few games this year. So we will tailgate together a few times.
Sounds good,
as we did last year. So
yes.
I plan on making it to one.
There you go.
Hopefully more, but we'll see. I haven't targeted which one yet.
I do have to say, Brian's tailgating last year was amazing. Got over there, and I mean, we ate a bunch of stuff, but the best stuff I ate was clearly by Brian. So I'm actually going back to that. Why don't you remind everybody what one of your favorite things to make for the tailgate is?
So I make a variety of different things, and it really depends on the game. So I for these two preseason games, I did something what I consider simple because I already prepared it in advance. I have a couple of smokers, so I usually smoke a couple of shoulders at a time. So I did pulled pork barbecue sliders with coleslaw, with toasted buns. But when
it's cold out, I like toasted buns.
Yes, but I'm also known for deep fried turkeys, buffalo chicken wings. I make stew for the last game of the year, and I make it in an 8-gallon pot. So I make about 5 gallons worth of stew. So it's a reasonable amount of stew. And for opening day, I think I'm going to go to Restaurant Depot and buy a bag of 100 clams to do clams on the grill.
Nice.
So, grilled clams are awesome.
Yes. So I mean, I have a variety. I try to not duplicate what I do, so it keeps me on my toes. There are certain people when they tailgate, it's like every game they bring the same exact thing. It's like, okay, you're good at one thing, but you've got no imagination.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Shellfish on a grill is something special. I love smoking mussels.
Yeah.
I haven't done that in a long time because, I live in an apartment now, so.
But less people will eat mussels than clams. More people will eat clams.
Yeah. True story.
And I like that because that leaves more mussels for me.
Well, this is Brian preparing right there one of his delicacies last year that he made.
Oh, that's the pulled pork barbecue sliders.
No, that was actually the bacon. That's the bacon explosion.
Oh, that's bacon explosion.
Yeah.
Oh, bacon explosion, which is bacon wrapped in sausage, wrapped in bacon, and then smoked for 2 hours.
Yep.
And then sliced like meatloaf.
Yep, that was amazing. And here's well, I already took a bite out of it, but that's what it was.
Well, you have to show the inside.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I saw that there were 2 nice growlers on the
right there.
Yeah.
There they are.
Yeah. And that second growler, the metal one, that's a Defiant growler.
It is a Defiant growler. It is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one's out of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina.
The Outer
Banks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they were at great beer, great food as always, amazing tailgates. Cheers to you, sir, and we'll definitely do that a few times this year, and we'll get Dave to one of them too.
Cool.
I gotta get to a game this year.
Come hungry.
Exactly. So, all right, let's rewind back. I mean, this is the 3rd annual one. I don't think we've talked a lot about football. We've talked a lot about tailgating. We've talked a lot about, everything we're talking about in the show before. We've talked, right? But let's dial it all the way back. Brian, you start off. Can you remember the first NFL game you ever went to?
The first NFL game that I went to was probably about 30 years ago.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I didn't get to go to NFL games growing up.
Okay.
But then I met my wife, and her father had season tickets.
That's why you married her, was it?
That is the only reason.
Good call. Good call.
It was. I was
that
like,
is
okay.
Not true.
There was
not
a 20-year waiting list. Marry, get him. Okay, I can.
A 20-year waiting list to marry her.
20-year waiting
list. No, it was either 20-year waiting list to get Giants tickets or marry her and get them right away. And I figured, okay, it's
there. You go.
Let's just get the tickets right away. Why wait 20 years?
Right.
So, and it was a good choice because we've been married for 31 years.
There you go.
Oh, so you had and how long did you know her before that?
7.
How long were you dating? So it took
3 months.
It took 8 years to get your foot in the door.
No. I was actually. Let's take that back. So it's probably I've been probably going to Giants games for like 35 years or something.
Okay.
30.
3 years is reasonable. 3 years is reasonable.
Right.
He's got to make sure you're sticking around.
There you go.
I get that. Yeah.
Well, it's her father's tickets, and then he decided at one point that because he took my son, so he got to a point where he decided he was not going to go anymore, and then I got the tickets, and then my son went to college, and then eventually my son got married and he has kids, and he just doesn't have the ability to go anymore. So I have actually my first boss out of college is who shares the tickets with me temporarily until my son is ready to pick up the gauntlet again.
Right?
So
there you go.
It's an open invitation. Whenever he's ready, he gets them back. But now I've got a longtime friend since 1982. That is my tailgate partner. So along with the 75 other people that come to our
exactly right. It's not a small tailgate, folks. In fact, if you go, I'm not going to tell you where, but there's something very visible you can see for Brian's tailgates, even if you're nowhere near his tailgate. So
you can be in the stadium and see it.
You can. He definitely marks himself where he is. So, but it's always around the same place. So
no, it's exactly that. He gets
there early enough so that he can park in the exact same spot all the time.
Right. I was online. I'm generally online before they open the gates.
Nice.
It's an amazing thing. Samurai, can you remember your first NFL game?
Yeah, I've been working for my company for quite a few years, and I think it was before that. So it may have been 30 years ago because, as a youngster, I could not afford to go to a football game. Also didn't live all that close to the stadium, where Johnny grew up in the shadow of the stadium.
I grew up like
pretty much
3 miles from away.
Yeah.
We could walk there.
I grew up in the northern end of the Pinelands, so really quite a ways away, but also, there's also the expenditure. So I think the first game I wound up going to probably just before the company I work for. So we're looking at like probably close to 30 years. I remember it was Giants-Vikings.
Giants-Vikings, very cool.
It ended in a 3-3 tie, so it was an exciting game.
Oh, the nail biter.
That was just, and I didn't go back again for a while.
Pitcher's duel.
Because that was a boring game. And it's funny because the second game I went to go see, it was Giants Cardinals. It was with the company in the booth, in the private booth. And what's interesting is in Giant Stadium, their booth was, probably maybe down around the 20-yard line.
Still a booth.
In the new stadium, because they didn't know who was going to get the 50-yard line. So neither the Jets nor the Giants have the 50-yard line. My company has the 50-yard line.
What a bummer.
With the Giants. I've not been since we've done that, but I was there for that. That ended in a 2020 tie. So it's
what is it with you and ties?
Yeah, it's so for the longest time, but every other time I've gone to Giant Stadium, the Giants have won. Other than the first 2 times I went. Well,
very
Giants
nice.
Now MetLife Stadium.
Now MetLife, yeah.
No, Giant Stadium.
Yeah, Giant Stadium. Yeah.
Always be Giant Stadium.
It's Giant Stadium, yeah. For myself, just to throw it in there.
Say the 3 Giants fans.
Exactly. For myself, just to throw it out there, I got the first NFL game I ever went to. Didn't get to Yankee Stadium, didn't get to the L Bowl, didn't get to Shea. Got the first game I went to was at Giant Stadium, and it was a preseason game. It wasn't 76 because that was the first year at Giant Stadium. And the first game ever at that stadium was October 10th, I believe. It was in October and it was against the Cowboys. And they lost, of course, in 76, against the Cowboys. The Giants are losing, right? Yeah. But it was in the preseason of 77. It was the Giants-Dolphins game. That was the first NFL game I ever went to. However, I was indeed, the end of that season. Was it 76? No, it was the season before. Because it was the last game of the season. whatchamacallit, really. Craig Morton was the quarterback. And he's on the field, and I forget, he either threw an interception, the last play of the game, either threw an interception or fumbled the ball or something bad happened. I forget what it was. But I do remember he stood in the middle of the field because the entire stadium was booing him. All right? And he stood in the middle of the field, and he gave the entire stadium the finger. And he walked off the field. They're booing him, everything else. The Giants, during the offseason, they trade him to Denver, and he takes Denver to the Super Bowl. All right.
And I inadvertently lied. They did lose one game that I saw live. Very, very cold game. We were in the end zone. We actually wound up on TV. If you can recognize this just from the eye slits that we allowed. But it was against the Cowboys. No, it's against the Patriots. I'm sorry. It's against the Patriots. And it's the game that Jeremy Shockey broke his leg.
So it was your fault.
But if you remember, after Shockey was out of the huddle, the Giants came alive. And I think they won every single game after that.
Well, yeah. I mean, they went to what was that thing called?
And I think they beat
the Bowl Super.
The Bowl of Super. That's what it is.
Because I think they got revenge. They got a revenge on losing to that team right there, the Patriots, by beating them in the Super Bowl that year.
So it was your doing. So
it was my doing, because it was actually in that end zone. It was like he was like lying on the 3-yard line at that end zone. So all we could see is a 0. Now, Johnny, in respect to the jersey you're wearing at the time, none of us particularly liked Eli at the time. So when we saw the 0,
I didn't dislike Eli. I thought he was a good quarterback.
But
I didn't know he was,
Well, let me finish.
Going to go on a run. He became.
Let me finish.
Go finish. Yeah.
You've got your sports cast. Let us talk. So we're all like, oh my God, thank God it's Eli. We'll get a real quarterback in there. It turns out that that Shockey breaking his leg and taking him out of that huddle, quieting that arrogant voice down in the huddle, allowed Eli to actually take command of the team finally and show what he could actually do. So,
Giants don't do well with showboats.
No, we don't. No. It was a yes, the man was in pain, but it was a blessing that he was taken out of the lineup. And when he did finally get his ring with the Saints. And a lot of Giants fans were like, "Oh, Shockey getting a ring," but
Shockey got his ring. He just didn't play in the game.
Yeah, but the thing is, Shockey that season, if you remember, he listened to Breeze. He was a player. He blocked.
Right.
He didn't call for the ball every damn down the way he did with the Giants. He became a teammate, so I think he deserved it.
So he actually has 2 rings. He has a ring with the Giants in 2007, and he has a ring with the
Saints, which he earned.
Right. There you go. Also, one other thing I want to point out is I had gone to a bunch of games back, obviously, then in the 70s. Great tailgates then, too. I could wax nostalgic about a bunch of stuff we did. But November 78, I was at the game, the Miracle in the Meadowlands, the fumble. Yes. When Pizarczyk handed the ball off to Zonka and fumbled it because Zonka didn't know he was getting the ball. And Herm Edwards picked it up and ran in the end zone, and the rest is history. But that was the best thing that ever happened to the Giants, that play right there, because it sparked everything that happened from the next year on and going into the Super Bowl years and everything else. So,
well, that was actually I grew up a Steelers fan, and
because they were winning,
and I was a young kid. I was a young kid, but the Steelers, with the exception of maybe Stallworth, pretty much retired all about the same year.
Yeah.
So
they were like, we're done. Goodbye.
Yeah. We've won 4. We're gone. Stallworth held out for a few more years, a couple of the defensive players. But other than that, the Steelers weren't the Steelers anymore.
No.
And I didn't recognize the team, so I decided to go with a local team. I went with the Giants. In the first game I watched, Pizarczyk fumbles the ball. Herm Edwards picks it up and runs into the end zone. First game I watched as a Giants fan, and that's what I had to endure.
There you go. I watched 6 other men hold my father back from throwing his field glasses from the upper deck, went 25th row in section 302, onto the field trying to hit Pizarczyk with them. But
ladies and gentlemen who are used to John's rants, this is where he gets it from.
Oh yeah.
And
now he asks me, why you get so aggravated with the Giants? I really
inherited.
And a programming note for those who follow at home. This year, the John Fladung Giant Sunday weekly Giants football rant over under is being reinstituted this year. And so, hey, Brian, you want in on that?
Yes, I want in.
Okay, we'll add you to the group, and you'll see the rules. We'll throw Mr. Boak into it, and I administer it. We added someone else already this year, so it'll be two more people strong this year.
Look, Jersey Johnny's a poopy head now.
He is a poopy head.
I don't use those at all. I don't use
the reason he's showing that is we have 3 categories based on his posts on his feed, not comments to his feed, not comments to anybody else.
His own personal post.
His own post, the original post. And he shows the poo emoji because sometimes number of poo emojis are given an over under.
Okay.
Certain words taken from the Latin or actually in this case Germanic,
okay,
are up there. So you'll see how it runs. I'm going into it now, and I will add Mr. Boak to this.
There you go. Awesome.
Move on to the next topic.
I look forward to a very, very, very good football season. All right. Here's a question. I'll continue this. Brian, what was your fondest football memory? I mean, fondest Giants memory, fondest football memory.
My fondest memory is the one time that my parents actually got to go to a game and tailgate with us.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So my parents moved out of, I grew up in Rockland County, New York, and my parents left town and deserted me when I was in my middle 20s. They were lucky. My dad worked for IBM for 34 years. He was able to retire young. They moved down to Myrtle Beach. They played golf. They had a blast. They're both gone at the moment. So we have memories, and memories are great.
Oh, yeah.
But my parents came up, and we were a camping family. So I grew up from the middle 60s on, going up and down the East Coast camping. I've been going to Myrtle Beach since like 68, probably, since before Myrtle Beach was what Myrtle Beach is.
Before Myrtle Beach was Myrtle Beach, yeah.
Before Myrtle Beach was Myrtle Beach. I mean, I went to school in South Carolina, so I used to go to Myrtle Beach for fun because we were only like a couple hours away.
Where'd you go to school?
University of South Carolina. So I'm a Gamecock.
You are a Gamecock. Look at that.
I am a Gamecock. Yes. So we would go there. We would go in the Chesapeake Bay in Virginia. I actually camped in a pop-up trailer on the Chesapeake Bay in a hurricane.
Nice.
Okay. Where at one point we were actually camping in the Chesapeake Bay because the bay rose. It didn't rise high enough to like flood the trailer, but we were like, if you stepped out of the trailer, you were in water.
So you cleaned the bottom half of the tires.
We cleaned the bottom half of the tires. This was before like all the weather radar and all that other stuff.
Sure.
So we actually tied the pop-up trailer down, and anybody knows what a pop-up trailer is. It's basically a bottom box with canvas sides and a top, and that's it.
And when you're ready to drive, you just track the thing down into it.
You slide the beds in, and then collapse the top down, and it goes into a small box, and you tow it behind you. But my parents came up, and they kept telling me year after year, okay, we're going to go around the United States. We're going to go around the United States. We're going to go around the United States. They dropped me off at college, and they went around the United States. I was the youngest child.
Freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but after having a pop-up trailer and then a regular tow-along trailer, then they graduated to a motorhome, and they brought their motorhome to Giant Stadium, and that's before that they required that motorhomes and buses go in a separate parking lot. So that
this is back when you could park along that, like along the ends of the lots, right? You could park
park anywhere. You could park anywhere.
But a lot of them did. Like we a couple times years ago, we took them over. Everybody was like all lined up going into the one line going into the Right.
Yeah. So, but this time they were actually to park like right next to us. So they parked this big motorhome, took up 2 spots. And Paulie Kennelly's father, the famous John Kennelly, okay, announcer with the Giants, was also there. And so my parents hung out. John Kennelly hung out. That's kind of the beginning of the tailgate. So that would be my best recollection of my parents actually coming to one of my tailgate parties.
Nice. Very nice. Love it. Love it. Samurai, your fondest football memory? Giants, Pet, Steelers, whatever it is. Your fondest.
Does it have to be NFL?
It can be anything. You want it?
No.
Be college. Go for it.
I am John,
high school. I don't care.
John's well aware that I am more of a college football fan than a pro football fan. This comes from my grandfather. So the reason I scream at the TV is my grandfather.
Okay. I said that for a reason.
Because Brian's showing something that John wants.
Well, no, that was for you too.
For me,
you, really.
Okay. So John's saying that because I was raised a Sooner fan, Sooner boomer.
Okay.
I bleed the scarlet. And there's no team on the planet that will make me put my fist through a television screen more so than the Sooners will. Rangers are number 2 in that aspect. Then the Giants, then the New York Giants.
Giants are number 1, and the Mets were number 2, but
Mets are just below Giants.
I don't even care.
They bounce back and forth. But so my grandfather and I decided one year they were going to be playing in the Orange Bowl versus Penn State. Oklahoma this is back when it was by poll, not by playoff. Oklahoma was number 1 in both polls at the time. And the Miami Hurricanes were sitting at number 2. The Hurricane fans, as always, they could be sitting down at 23rd, and they think they're the greatest team on the planet because Hurricanes.
Miami.
Hurricanes. The Hurricanes were playing in the Sugar Bowl. I forget who they were playing, but the stadium was probably about a third full of Miami fans with little TVs. Remember those little TVs?
Yeah.
They're watching the game there, and Oklahoma's playing Penn State because they think Penn State's going to beat Oklahoma. They didn't count on one thing. Jamel Holloway and Brian Bosworth and Keith Jackson. The Sooners did something to them that they had not done to anybody else. They threw a touchdown. The Oklahoma was using the wishbone back then. They did not throw the football whatsoever. So when Jamel Holloway hit Keith Jackson coming across the middle, he caught the ball and just really had no one near him because the only guy that was near him, one of the wide receivers who were only there to do end arounds, managed to pick the guy off, and Keith kind of walked into the end zone. We rented a car. We slept in rest areas, and the tickets that we got, we actually scalped tickets. We took the chance to go down there and scalp tickets.
You're always going to get a ticket. You can do that. It's fine.
And we're sitting in the Penn State section in our Sooner Red.
That was daring, but okay.
Actually, you know what? I've got a lot of respect for Penn State fans because at one point, Jamel Holloway fumbles the ball, and one of the Penn State fans jumps up and yells, "I love the wishbone." I'm like, yeah. And then the next possession, Jamal Holloway runs for like a.
I used to say that about the turkey on Thanksgiving when I was a kid.
But Jamal Holloway runs on a keeper. He runs for like an 82-yard touchdown. I jumped up and yelled, "I love the wishbone," and they turn around and went, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, right.
Right about the beginning of the fourth quarter, Miami had gotten stomped in the Sugar Bowl. I think it was by Tennessee, actually. And so a third of the stadium emptied because the Hurricane fans left. And the Giants the Sooners went on to win the game. I'm looking at our jersey.
The Giants were playing Penn State. It's a fair game.
They lost.
Right?
But Oklahoma winds up winning the game. All the people around us congratulate my grandfather and I for the championship. We go down, and God bless my grandfather. The Sooner fans are down there. He managed to get Jamel Holloway's ear. And he's just giving him life lesson after life lesson. And I kind of felt sorry for the kid, but he was respectful. He was nice, really good. It was, and I'll never forget that, because it's not often, especially with a college team who is halfway across the country from you, that you get to go and watch win the national championship.
Yeah, that's true.
And to do it with my grandfather, the person who indoctrinated me
into that, sure,
into it.
It's Kenny.
It's special, really special.
So I do have to say, I actually did pick up a Penn State jersey this past summer.
Is it a retro?
It is not a retro. It is from 5 years ago. It's blue with white numbers and letters. And it's number 26, and it says Barkley on the back. So I did.
I've heard of that guy.
That's legitimate to pick up.
Yeah, I picked that up. Why not?
I do have a Sooner jersey. It's got my name across the back, but it is number 20 for many of their players that wore the number 20.
Sure.
Billy Sims being, of course, the most famous.
There you go. My fondest memory, just to throw it out there, would be, and I think both of you have heard this before. Go ahead, before I say it.
Before you do, you poured your second beer. I'm almost done with my second beer.
All right, what was your second?
And I poured my second also.
Brian, what was your second beer?
So I, as you know, that every year I go to I take a vacation down to Long Beach Island. Mm-hmm. So with the family,
and you took a ride to Klein's one day, and some guy was going to meet you, and then he never did.
He just blew me off.
Wait a second. I mean, he was late?
No. He blew me off completely, no show.
When I was finished with work and ready to meet him, he was already at where you were already heading back, or you were?
I was already heading back.
You're heading back, yeah.
But I mean, I go to Klein's, I text him saying, "I'm at Klein's." He says, I can walk over there, just waiting on a phone call. I'll be there in a little bit.
The phone call was 2 hours long. So.
And I was there.
You owned a brewery. You know how phone calls can get.
Did he say, "I'll be there in 8 minutes"? Because that's.
I didn't give him a time. I told him I was waiting on a phone call.
But you never give him a time. I'll tell you one right now. John says 8 minutes. Just pack up.
I never gave him a time.
No, I never gave him a time. He never gave me a time. He said I can walk over. So I figured, okay, I'll have a dozen clams. Okay. I'll have another dozen clams.
Hey, well,
okay.
96 clams later.
Okay. No, okay.
There,
now I'm going to go eat dinner.
There you go.
He's still not there. I'm like,
it was 2 hours. And the phone call was a legal thing, but it was a legal thing. It was a TTB thing. Just, it was a long ass.
Oh, okay. Because
I know
about your illegal calls.
It was no.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, so LBI, you go to LBI.
I was at LBI, and when I'm at LBI, I do a couple of different things. I go to Ship Bottom Brewery to go get their beer, and I go to Manafurkin to go get their beer. Okay, and while I'm at Manafurkin, I go to Blackie's to go get 100 clams because you can't not go.
You can't not go to Blackie's.
You can't. If you go to LBI, you can't not go to Blackie's, and if you go to Manafurkin, you got to be shot if you don't go to Blackie's because they're like a mile apart. So I picked up a growler of Manafurkin's Trippin' Monkey.
Nice.
Their triple.
Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Trippin'
Monkey.
Trippin' Monkey, which is their Belgian triple, and I was going to save it for another night with somebody else, but oh well.
We're honored. We are
honored.
I decided it was just going to be
humbled.
I just decided it was going to be a triple night. I had a Boaks.
There we go. 3
Blind Monks, and I was going to have a Manafurkin triple, and that's what I was going to have.
There you go. Awesome. That's awesome. So that's a great beer. Samurai, what was your second beer?
I still got a little left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drinking out of something quite large, because if you're forced to go to one of these things, you need to liquor up a little bit. But I also thought this was kind of appropriate for the theme of the show, because there are times, because let's face it, this is basically a circus.
My nieces and nephews all worked for them, Chicago and LA. like
Very
a
cool.
long time, like a really long time.
Serving or fighting?
My
Yes.
nephew was
Yes.
my nephew was a squire.
Okay.
My niece, two of my nieces were serving wenches, and then one of my nieces actually ended up in the office, in the accounting office, and now she's not a full-fledged accountant, but she's in the accounting area, like outside of medieval times. But
Well, I'll say one thing. The dragon's blood, as they call it, the tomato soup is delicious. I gotta give them that. The soup. Go for the soup, but liquor up for the show because it's the same thing. It's fun. It's fun. I'll give it that. But so
it's a show.
It's a show.
Show.
It's a dinner and a show.
Right.
But
All day is a good day. Yeah.
This is a good beer.
Tell us why you did that, though.
The reason I'm doing that, and the second beer, is we talked about anchor folding.
Yes.
And how that it is actually, even though, yes, their owners kind of did them in, it's still our fault. We took them for granted. We stopped drinking their stuff. We thought they'd always be there. You know, I love Anchor Steam, but I couldn't tell you the last time I bought an Anchor Steam. Anchor Porter is one of my favorite.
I can tell you the last time you bought an Anchor Steam and an Anchor Porter.
Well, no. Prior to them folding.
Prior to now, right?
Anchor Porter is one of my favorite porters in the country, and I couldn't have told you the last time I had one before they closed.
Alaska Brewing Porter is pretty good.
I've got a couple 6-packs over there now. So, you know, on the show, we did challenge everybody. Think of those breweries you take for granted. Think of those beers that you've loved in the past that you just think are always going to be there. And, hey, I can get it, but let me try something new. We espouse drink local, and that's great and that's fine, especially if you're going somewhere. Drink local while you're there. Support your local breweries for where you live. But don't forget about those nationals who brought us here, that got us here. Pick something up from them every now and then. And,
not every day, but every now and then.
Yeah,
just get it.
every now and then.
Once in a while, be fine.
And one of the things that I've said about the beer community now is the beer community now is very ADD.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Big time.
And it's very much what have you done for me lately, or what's new and shiny.
Correct, because
one of the two.
And that's one reason why I closed, because I was a brewery that made what I considered a good staple of beers, but didn't come out with flavor of the week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But look, Brian, you know how I feel about your beers that you had. I loved every single one of them, and I drank them as often as I could. Right. But as irony would have it, when you were closing, you came out with flavors of the week, and they were friggin' amazing. Well,
I had to make do with what I had, and you want 10 beers on tap? Yeah, I will give you 10 beers on tap. Like when I was doing one of my
flamethrower, holy crap!
Well, flamethrower was killer.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Snow Monster.
Snow Monster was well, actually, Snow Monster was Blunderbore. Blunderbore.
Snow Monster first, and then you're like, oh wait, I'll call this Blunderbore.
Blunderbore, right? Because it just worked out. Because Blunderbore is the name of the monster in Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but like I got a hold of one of those flavor kits. So one of the flavors in there was mojito flavor.
Interesting.
So I put mojito flavoring in Double BW. Mm-hmm. And I did it at a beer fest, and it was really hot, and it just like flew. Just like so nice. I did one beer festival where I literally brought 10 different beers.
It's funny that you just said that, because I actually have a sample. I was sent a sample of Amaretti Mojito Libre.
Oh, you got to put that in like a wheat beer.
Right.
It's just like killer.
Yeah, try that.
I've actually wound up opening my third while we were talking.
Well, let me show my second.
But the thing is, because it's along the same vein, that's why I wanted. Because I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back into the spiel again.
Go for it now.
But it is Stone's IPA.
Stone. Now Stone, you go back to a legacy brewery.
Yeah, but it's funny that you did that after talking about the fact that Anchor folded.
Right.
Who folded Anchor?
Sapporo. And who
owns Stone?
Sapporo.
All right.
Right.
But the thing is, I don't want to see Stone go away, no matter who owns them.
Right. That's true. Fair enough.
So, I've got nothing with Sapporo. It was a straight up business decision, right? A nasty one, and we really hope that the movement of
they cut their losses as far as they were concerned.
Yeah, and I really hope the movement of the employees that are trying to.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. I honestly think that's going to happen. I think they'll have the funding and they'll pick it back up. They'll resurrect it from the ashes, and we'll have Anchor again. We might not have as much of it readily available in New Jersey as we used to, but it'll be around.
There's going to be a
gap. Will try and get something out of the deal.
Of course they're gonna. Of course they will.
Right.
Yeah.
We're all going to have gaps in our Christmas beer verticals.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. Probably sizable gaps.
I actually have, because I went to Andy's Corner Bar.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you got your pretzel.
Okay. I got my pretzel all the time.
All the product.
But I have a Magnum bottle.
Where is it, Johnny?
So I have one of those.
But what year?
What year?
I'll be back in a minute.
This one, folks, while Brian goes and looks for his Magnum bottle, this one is 2016, so it's 7 years old this year. This will be opened for us, and we'll do it on the show, but in 4 years at its 10-year anniversary. We'll open this December-ish, or maybe even we'll even
do the November holiday show.
Maybe we'll do a live holiday show, and we'll open this on it in November or December 2026. So there you go. So keep watching for another 4 years, and we'll open it. There you go.
That last 19.2. This one's 19.2 as well. At least the ABVs are low, but I'm either going to have to go that way briefly, or
you need to wait until Brian comes back.
Oh yeah,
but
so I'm not leaving. No, not right now. I'll be
not right now. No, that's fine. But just on that note, while Brian is looking for his Magnum of the Christmas ale, I will tell you what my second beer, which I'm almost done with. I'll be opening my third shortly. It's another Human Robot.
That's
beer.
Such a great beer.
Human Robot Hallertau Pils.
That's a really.
So we got German Pilsner, Grüngeist Pils, and then we have another German Pilsner Hallertau Pils. So this is more of a traditional German Pilsner.
A world-ending Pilsner.
Right. This is more of a traditional German Pilsner with Hallertau hops.
Is that the palm tree one? Brian, what year we got on that?
What year is that, Brian?
So hold on. What year is yours?
2016.
Oh, I fucking blow your doors off.
What do you got?
Blow your doors off. Not even remotely close.
What do you got?
I didn't see it.
2095. Look at
1995. And it is the palm tree one.
It is. All right, so Brian, here's what you got to do. We just said this. The holiday episode, the holiday beer show 4 years from now in 2026. When that is
2026.
2026. When
31.
that
4 shows from now, not 4 years from now.
4 years from now. No, 4 years from now. Yeah, 2026.
That would be 2027.
No, this is 2016, this beer.
I thought it says 2017.
No, it's 2016. So
yeah, no, but 4 years from now.
3 years from now. 3 years from now. 3 years.
Yeah, that's okay.
My bad.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You're right.
See, we don't math. This is why we don't math on the show.
No math on the show.
No math. Because I was agreeing with you, and I was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
What is he talking about? Right. So 2026,
hold on,
3 years from now.
Hold on. Calculator button.
No, yeah. So
Blink, he's gone.
We're going to do it. We'll do the holiday beer episode live from Coastal Brew Works. All right. At the brewery, we'll do it. We'll open this beer to be 10 years old. We'll open your beer to be 31 years old.
Okay.
Done. All right. And
they will both stink.
No. Don't say that, because I did 10 years ago. 10 years ago this year, 2013, I did an 18-year vertical. I had 95 through 2013. So I had that beer in the vertical. 95 through 20. I had it in 95 too, but 95 through 2013. And so it was an 18-year vertical. The best of all of them, including the newer ones, was 1998. And 95 was drinking good. Now, granted, that was 10 years ago, but still, these beers age really well. So
it depends upon the adjunct.
we drank them so George brought out like a bunch of bottles.
Right.
And they, after a certain point, they just didn't age well. So he just like brought the bottles up and says, whatever you want, take it. And I just found the oldest one I could find.
There you go.
So this is courtesy of George Gray. It's like,
absolutely.
He has
you know what? Maybe we'll have George and Barbara down for that episode too. That'll be good.
Or at least live online
or live online.
Yeah,
they might be working on. Well, they'll set up a laptop behind the bar and that'll work.
Right.
That'll be good.
Yeah,
that works for me. So, all right. Let's. I was going to give you my fondest football.
But before we continue, just reminding you, my wife told me, "When are you coming down?" Because we started late, and I said I should be done in like 20 minutes. So
should be good. That should be good. We'll do these. We'll wrap these up. We'll get into more top threes.
Because I know
I don't want to get in trouble. So
no. And I know the story John's about to tell. I've heard. Mm-hmm. So I've drank a lot of liquid already.
Go to the bathroom. Go.
Well, I do have a bottle. I can
just go to the bathroom.
We did have a. No. I will put this on mute. I'll
Fuck you. All right. So anyway, Brian, I think you've heard the story before too, and I'll make it quick. Obviously, I'm a Giants fan. I'm a Mets fan as well. 1986 Monday Night Football game, late October, 1986. I'm sitting at Giant Stadium for Monday Night Football game, Giants Washington, the day Game 7 of the '86 World Series. Now we all brought TVs with us too, with like little.
Because we did that
TVs.
in a day.
We did that in a day, right? So we're watching the Mets Red Sox World Series on a 3-inch screen and looking up at the Giants the Washington game, Redskins game,
right?
Going back and forth. In the middle of the third quarter, they stopped play on the field when the Mets won the World Series.
That's the right thing to do.
They did. They literally stopped. They showed everybody in the stadium was elated and everybody was happy and it was for both, right? Because the majority of the people in the stadium were Giants fans. Now, most Giants fans you're either a Mets fan or you're a Yankees fan. Mets fans, they won the World Series. Yankees fans, they beat the Red Sox. So 6 in one, half dozen the other. Everyone was happy. So
it's a dual win.
It's a dual win. So yeah, that's my fondest football memory. There you go. So and perfect timing. Samurai just sat back down. All right. Let me ask you this. What's your fondest tailgating memory?
By the way, John, I have no idea what the top 3 is.
I'll get to there, and you can make it up on the fly. So
you gotta have to.
Yeah. What's your fondest tailgating memory? Brian, start. Just in general.
Well, I mean,
your parents.
Well, my parents was one, but the other one is how many people can say that Carl Banks launched his line of tailgating food at their tailgate?
And I knew you were going to go there, and I said it for a reason. So there you go.
So how can you beat that one?
You can't.
What jersey are you wearing?
What jersey are you wearing, Brian?
There he is.
Happy birthday, Carl Banks.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Carl Banks.
Today.
Today's his birthday.
And I have a picture of me and Carl holding a platter with ribs on it from that event. And I have, hold on a second.
He's going to get more props for the show.
More props for the show.
And he'll be back momentarily.
After getting yelled at.
If he went downstairs again. Hopefully he didn't go downstairs again to get yelled at. The light went on in there, so he's in that room. So there you go. Okay. That's good. So he didn't go downstairs, so that's a good thing. He's just getting something out of his prop closet, if you will. There you go.
Prop closet?
Maybe. Well, let's call it that anyway, whether it is or it isn't.
I call mine storage.
Yeah, well, everything you own is in storage. So,
except for this lamp, and this chair, and this
ashtray,
and my faithful dog shithead.
Oh, what a good movie.
I haven't seen that in ages.
You know what? It's funny you said that. It's funny we brought it up. I was just thinking about that the other day. That's a movie that I got to watch soon. There you go. There it is.
And it's funny because I was just thinking you're a
Carl Banks. There it is. 58 right there. All right.
Barbecue Blitz.
Famous 58 Barbecue Blitz.
Famous 58 chef smock. It is just
pristine.
You can't really see it because it's black on blue, but
Can
you see a little bit of black.
Oh, I can see it now. Carl Banks 58. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
there it is.
Yep.
a famous 58 chef smock,
Nice.
which there are probably a half a dozen in existence, and my tailgate probably has 4 of them.
Nice.
So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Carl Banks. You're wearing the jersey to commemorate that, as well as your favorite fondest tailgating memory.
yeah.
But happy birthday, Carl Banks. And also, Dave, say it with me. Happy birthday, El Alacran. Tony Drury, guest on the show, was seven times he's been on the show. Brian's been on 3 now.
I don't
Tony's
count.
been on 7. Yeah, something along those lines. He was just on the 7th. From far west Texas, Terlingua, Texas. Today's his birthday too. So happy birthday, Carl. Happy birthday, Tony.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Cheers.
I've got another month and a week for my birthday.
There you go. And you're going to be 48, right?
Again.
48 plus, I don't know.
Plus a couple.
15.
All right. Samurai, your fondest tailgating memory. And this is going to bring us into our top 3s. That's why
I've not done a lot of tailgating per se.
I only do it like 10 times a year.
Yeah,
so I haven't done a lot either.
And it's
not a lot.
It's random. It's small. It's
a small affair. Just your 75 closest friends.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all. No, what I would have
and whenever I walk over.
And TV cameras and the film crew
and Giants legends
and the Rachel Ray show and the Taco Bell commercial and dropping names and
all that stuff.
Drop away.
Odell Beckham Jr.'s mom and
there you go. Did you make soup that day?
No, because it was early in the season.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
But we did have somebody make vegetarian food.
Fair enough.
That's good.
Fair enough. Go ahead. You were saying?
I was trying to figure out and thinking, and it hurt a lot to think. But I think what I would have to come up with is there was one game. It was Giants Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there with a friend of mine. It was his father-in-law's season tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And we brought a bunch of beer with us. But before the game, it is freezing and it's pouring. It's just warm enough to not be snowing.
Right.
Oh, that's lovely weather. I love that.
Don't you love that? So we're camped out in the car. The cooler's open in the back seat. We've had a few beers, and I pop open a Black Ops.
Always a good choice.
Oh, yeah. Forgetting that my friend's alcohol tolerance isn't even half of mine. So not
a seasoned veteran, huh?
Oh, no, he is not. So we get to the stadium, and the Giants are actually kind of handing it to the Cowboys, really kicking their asses. Not handing them the win that we're used to them handing it to the Cowboys.
So we can pinpoint the fact that this is somewhere in the neighborhood of like 88 to 91.
This would have been the second season Eli won.
Oh, back then. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So, and this was the game that put them into the playoffs, actually.
Right.
And knocked the Cowboys out, as a matter of fact.
Right. The second
bummer.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, bummer. But the my buddy Steve, who I called the Duck because he was a big Oregon fan, he was so friggin' drunk that Eli's making beautiful pass after beautiful pass. He starts standing up and yelling, "Eli's got a horseshoe up his ass." And he must have said it 7 times in a row before I grabbed him by his jersey and pulled him back down into his seat and said, "Okay, you've had enough to drink." You're just. But it's this game. I did have to do something during the game, which I always referred to as going Jersey. But the first time I did it with this guy, I was in Tennessee. But that's another story for another day.
Well, that's why you went Jersey, because you were in Tennessee and they wouldn't understand what that meant.
Yes. So, but here we're actually in Jersey, but this guy's actually from California and Oregon. But there's two Cowboys fans sitting in front of us. In front of them are two Giants fans. And the Giants fans are kind of they're going back and forth, the Cowboys fans. It's good-natured ribbing back and forth.
Mhm.
There's an older guy off to the side, and he's kind of not as nice about the two guys in front of him.
Mhm.
But as we're getting deeper into the game, the two Giants fans and addition of alcohol are starting to get nasty about it.
Sure.
No good. No good.
And I looked at my friend and said, I apologize for this because this was his, father-in-law's, seats. I tapped the Cowboys fans on the shoulder. They snap around real quick and real nervous. I'm like, no, it's okay. I just need to speak to them.
Right.
And I reached through and tapped them on the shoulder. They turn around like, look, this isn't Philadelphia.
Mhm.
Knock it off. We're winning the game.
Mhm.
Show a little class.
Right. Yeah,
And-
because it's unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. It's only a freaking game.
Right.
And to their credit, they said, you're right. They apologized. They offered to buy the Cowboys fans drinks. I looked over and the older guy's looking at me, and I just did this to him. Like, he went, because I can't stand that,
No.
And we're winning the game. So what's the point even of getting really nasty about it? So, but it was just the locked in the car with the
Drinking high
pouring rain
gravity
in the
beers.
freezing, drinking really high stuff, getting Steve completely smashed to the point that I don't think he remembers much of the game.
No.
No, at least not the first three quarters.
There you go. So mine, just to throw it out there, is to your point with the bringing in the RV or whatever, Winnebago back in the day, right?
Yep. Back in the day.
Brought one of the guys. Now, one of my tickets when I first got my ticket, we had 8 season tickets, and I was on the fire department in the town I grew up in. And my father was chief the year I got on, everything else, and whole 9 yards. But anyway, so one of the guys on the fire department that didn't go to games or whatever, he had a Winnebago. So we later in the season, every now and then we borrowed it. Right, we went over and we tailgated out of that. Right. So this was, I forget what year it was, but it was late in the season. It was earlier in the 80s. And the Giants, it was later in the season. The Giants weren't doing particularly well. And they were playing the Raiders, and the Raiders were, right, as they were in the, a lot in the 70s and early on up till like 84 in the 80s, when they won the Super Bowl in 84. But in any event, they were kicking the crap out of the Giants. And halftime, I think the score was like 190 to like -4, something like that. So third quarter started, and like the first play of the third quarter, Giants got the ball and fumbled it, and the Raiders ran it in for a touchdown. So we're like, you know what? We're done. I'm out of here. It's freezing. We're done, right? So we all go down, the 8 of us, right? We go down to the RV. We don't leave. We fire up the generator, turn on the TV, fire up the grill, and start cooking and start tailgating again during the third quarter.
That's the normal thing that you would do.
Right.
Why leave the parking lot?
Why leave the parking lot? Right.
Right.
So we fire up the generator and everything. We do all of that. We watch the rest of the game. It was a 1:00 game too, which was weird because it was a Raiders game, right? So they were on the West Coast,
Right.
but it was a 1:00 game. So we watched the rest of the
Raiders
game.
fans are getting up at 10
o'clock to watch the
actually,
game.
no, they're getting up at 9 in the morning to apply makeup.
Pre-game.
Right,
Pre-game.
pregame. Right. So so we watched the rest of the Giants Raiders game. Giants got the crap kicked out of them more, anyway. But then we watched the 4:00 game too. All right. Now we left at like 8 in the morning to go over, to get ready for the for the 1:00 game. We didn't get home till 11:15. Right. So it was that's
a tailgate.
That was a tailgate. That was a good one. So that's
that was before they kicked you out of the state. Well, that was one. See, when I started tailgating, if you got in more than 7 hours before the game, they didn't charge you because there was nobody at the gate and the gates were open.
Yep. You just went in.
So we made sure we got there more than 7 hours before, so we didn't have to pay our $10 or whatever the number was,
sure,
$15 or whatever it was.
Yeah. I think early on it was like, I remember the earliest I remember was like $5 to get into park.
You mean for the 8 spots that you take up?
Right.
$1, almost $1 a spot.
$1 spot. But we would get there before they would start charging, and then I mean, it really upsets us that now that they close the gates down, you can't get in. You can't get in until 5 hours before. How much tailgating can you go do if you can only get in 5 hours before the game?
5 hours.
5 hours.
5 hours. So 8 o'clock for a 1 o'clock game.
Right. It's like I can't even smoke a good set of ribs in that time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you got to do most of it the night before and just like heat them up.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass, right? So, just to throw this out there, I've been drinking it. My third beer, staying with the human robot thing.
That's Tamave. That's 13.
Tamave 13.
That's
Textile
my
Dark Lager
right there.
Human robot. There you go.
You brought me back some, right?
I will have to no. Are they available up by me or are they only local?
No, you can only get them at Brewery Only.
You can only get them at Brewery down in Kensington, down in Philadelphia. Yeah, I just happened to grab these 3 cans because I was down in Philly. Jess and I went to a Phillies Giants game at Citizens Bank Park last Wednesday. So I was talking at the brewer or whatever, and I grabbed these cans while I was down there. So
I really
for tonight's podcast, as a matter of fact,
I will remind you that if you come to my tailgate and you tell me I like barrel aged in Belgium.
Oh, I know that,
and
I'm well aware.
if you can grab some and tell me in advance and tell me how much I owe you, I will happily pay you. You have to tell me in advance so I can.
I will make sure
payment for the tailgate.
I will make sure.
I have Venmo. There you go. I'm very flexible.
I will make sure that before one of the tailgates this year, I will make sure that I get down to Human Robot to get you some beer for the tailgate and bring it to you at the tailgate before I actually come up. So I will make sure that happens.
But not IPAs or lagers because
no,
my favorites. But
there you go.
So I'm just
I
always ask all my friends.
All 3 beers that John drank from Human Robot were lagers.
All lagers, yeah. There was 2 German Pilsners, single hop German Pilsners. One was Grüngeist, one was Hallertau, and then this one is a Czech dark lager. So like a Czechoslovakian Schwarzbier.
Yes.
So anyway,
love.
There you go. And I kind of dated myself by saying Czechoslovakian. It's not
you
Czech.
did.
It's just Czech.
Czech
Schwarzbier. There you
go.
Czech.
Or to be more
Czech.
Or to be more Czechia.
Czechia. There you go. All right. I think it's time for the top 3s. What do you think?
Okay. Sure.
All right. Let's do it.
What are they?
Get you both. I know Brian looked at it already, so he's aware. So.
No, I have no idea. I really.
All right.
I was working up to the last second.
All right, there you go. Okay, here we go.
Same here. I'm at work right now, Zach.
2 years ago, we did favorite tailgate foods.
Okay,
we're doing it again to see if it's
no. Last year we did favorite tailgate beers.
Okay.
So this year we're doing favorite tailgate food and beer pairings. There you go. What beer do you drink with what food? And now you don't have to be as specific about the beer. You can just have a style.
Style.
Food and style.
Okay.
So it's favorite. There you go. Favorite tailgate food and beer pairings. There you go. That's our favorite. That's our top 3 tonight.
Okay. Who's starting?
You are. You're the guest.
Okay. So as I mentioned, for next week, I'm going to do 100 clams on the grill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I will pair probably a Hefeweizen with
Very nice.
Okay. A little later in the year, I will do beer boiled sausages.
Nice.
And with so I'll do I'll go to the really good market, get the really good sausages,
sure.
and probably some bratwursts and some other items, and boil them in beer and with some onions, and I'll have a porter with that.
Nice.
Okay. And then my third, let's see. I will for my stew. Okay. For my stew, let's see. What would I pair up my stew? My stew is like big and meaty. I use like 15 pounds of meat and 10 pounds of potatoes and a couple pounds of celery and garlic and onions and potatoes and all of that stuff.
Great stew, big stew.
Yeah, big stew. So
Had it. It's delicious, by the way.
We got it, and it's got like a bunch of hot sauce. Not too hot, so
just enough, just a little bit.
Right. So, but in
reality,
with that one, you want something a little light and refreshing to kind of like zest you out of it. So actually, a Pilsner would go actually well with that, even though it's kind of like an anticlimactic type of deal. But there's so much in the stew that you need something that's clean.
Nice. Awesome. That's great. Love it. Absolutely. And if I do get to the Cowboys game, I will come over for some clams and hef. That's
cool. Yeah.
That's it. Love it. Samurai.
I've been trying to write some stuff down here. I don't have my third yet. They're not going to be in any order, but eventually I'll come up with my third.
So you're asking a guy that doesn't tailgate food. It's like I had like 30 different versions.
Fortunately, I pulled up the notes from 2 years ago show and last year's show. So I'm going to give Samurai his notes. Here we go. So 2 years ago, your food that you said 2 years ago was here we go.
You just can't find it.
No, I got it right here. Number 3 was an Italian hoagie. Number 2 was chili. Number 3 was sweet, hot, earthy grilled wings.
She-Devil wings. Those were
She-Devil wings. She-Devil wings.
She-Devil's a spice rub that I make myself. I still got to get John a jar of that.
I still,
to
this day,
what about
neither
me?
Brian nor I have.
You know
what? You're going to have to bring it. Just make a new batch, and you'll
actually
bring it
I'll
to the tailgate.
I'll have to bring a big. I'll make up a big batch of it, Brian. Different versions of it. I can either do Chipotle, habanero, or blow your head off Reaper.
No, Reaper is just too insane. It's just
it
not.
Is.
No, it's just too insane.
I
like my hot sauce, but I like
to taste the food when I eat it afterwards.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, the Reaper is to hurt people. My favorite, actually, even though it's the least heat of all of them, is the Chipotle. It adds a.
Well, that's what I use in flamethrower.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful
Chipotle peppers. It's a
beautiful
lovely pepper.
But so some of the notes I put here actually don't match up with my 3 favorite foods there, John, that I mentioned. Because this is about
go around the corner.
So it's about the pairings. And I remember with the foods, I did not put one food on there because it's one of John's favorites, and that would be brats. With brats, it's a brat. You have to have a German beer with a brat. And for me, a German Pilsner is really not enough to stand up to it. I'm probably going more with a Helles. That's got a little more beef to it, a little more malt to it. So I think that's going to stand up. But actually, more so, I'm thinking a Bock with a brat.
A Bock with a brat would be much better.
Yeah, I'm thinking a Bock with a brat.
You need more meat in your beer.
Yeah, you need beef in the beer for your pork brat.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely. Speaking of beef, okay, so a classic one. Burgers are a classic. Tailgate.
Not at my tailgate. Not at my tailgate. They're not allowed.
All the all the schlubs out there are tossing burgers, over little hibachis, and
you can go anywhere in the parking lot and get a burger.
Yeah,
you ain't getting that by Brian.
No, we throw them off the grill unless you say that these are vegan burgers
or bison burgers.
No, vegan burgers. We don't even like. You ain't touching my grill. You're desecrating my grill.
How about a wild boar burger?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so that'll work.
Yeah.
But for burgers,
bison, wild boar, alligator burger, and any of those, yeah. But
okay.
regular chopped meat burger, it's like, come on.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But a good.
I mean, if you're pre-seasoning, that's okay.
But you're just seasoning your grill. That's what you're doing with some beef fat. But with a burger, I want a stout with a burger, and I don't want a barrel aged stout. I don't want an adjunct stout. I want a straight up stout.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, a Guinness and a burger are just a perfect pairing for me.
That's not sorry. It's a
beautiful. No need to be sorry for that.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm sorry now because I just came back from Ireland a couple weeks ago, so I'm sorry that I can't get the Guinnesses I got in Ireland.
So you're drinking crappy Guinness now,
right?
Oh my God! I bought a 4-pack. I even bought a 4-pack today and poured it properly into the glass and went, That still doesn't help. This hurts. It hurts. It doesn't have the same.
Well, the Guinness you had in Ireland was made in
Ireland.
In Ireland,
in Dublin.
Yeah.
I've got
the
pictures.
Guinness you had today was not. So yeah,
No.
The one you had was a real Guinness. This is a imitation,
bastardized version of the beer.
imitation. Yeah. But it's all we have here. So, though I did get it in that there is a actually pretty damn good Guinness pour in Lower Manhattan at Dead Rabbit.
Dead Rabbit does a good Guinness pour.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of Gangs of New York, you know where they got their name from. They were the Irish gang in New York.
Yep.
I'm really struggling on the last one, and it really depends upon how they're seasoned. But another thing that I really like, the Aussies call it the Barbie, but throwing shrimp on the grill.
Shrimp is great.
That's a beautiful thing, and I want a nice classic wheat beer with the shrimp, but it depends on how they're seasoned.
German wheat, like a Hef, or you want just a wheat, like an American wheat?
No, a Weiss, not a Hef.
You want a white.
Yeah, I don't want all that yeastiness. That is going to interfere with whatever you're doing. I want a clean Weiss, like a Nattertrub.
Yep.
I think would be beautiful.
Nattertrub would be great. Yeah,
I think would be beautiful with shrimp. So that'd be my third.
All right, fair enough.
Excellent.
Very nice. Mine, I'll go through them. Chili, number 3, chili. Good solid amber lager.
Yeah.
That's a good match to the chili.
A good malty amber.
Yeah, a good malty amber. Good heavy.
A really hopped amber is really not going to work with chili.
No. I need more. I mean, look. Any of these beers that we're talking about here, they're all malt forward, right?
Yes,
there's no hops in these beers, right? So, a good big beefy malt forward amber lager with chili. But number 2, I love grilling steaks at a tailgate, and I mean it can be anything, just any cut of beef grilled fresh at the stadium, in there. Like one of my favorite tailgates. We actually did. This is a long time ago, 30 plus years ago. We were actually sitting there. We brought a shell of beef. All right. We actually cut. Okay, how thick you want your steak? How thick you want your steak? Right. And we cut them, and we had lobster tails. We brought a bunch of lobster tails. We had surf and turf. We had surf and turf, and we had such an elaborate setup, and we had the surf and turf going that the Bergen Record newspaper actually came over, and they sat with us. They're like, "Holy crap, you guys do it right. What the hell are you doing? What are we doing? We just had a burger over these guys. What the hell are we over here?"
So they hadn't made it to Brian's setup yet.
Well, no. Well, we did one year.
This was pre-Brian's setup.
Pre-Brian.
So,
and what are you pairing with the steak?
So with a steak, a brown ale.
Yeah,
that's classic.
I'm having a brown ale with a steak. That's what I'm having.
I will counterpoint you with a steak, depending upon how you seasoned it, with a coffee porter.
You know what?
No, too much.
It's a little too. It's a little. No,
if you are
see where you're going.
If you have really peppered that steak,
right?
Yeah. If you ruin the steak.
Yeah, I you really pepper the steak. You ruin that. Yeah.
Yeah, you ruin the steak.
I like pepper, but I don't that much. And but I see where you're going with that. But a good beefy brown ale with a good charred steak. That's very good. And then my number one, and you said it before, bratwurst, Oktoberfest, a Märzen. Give me a Märzen.
Yeah.
With a good solid. A Bock is an awesome choice. I would pair it with a Märzen, but I would. You couldn't go wrong with a Bock either. But I'll go with.
Question is
not a fest beer, a Märzen. So I want the beefy. I want the more caramel. I want a little bit more of that beef.
The fest is a little too late. What are you cooking it in? Which beer are you cooking?
I'm cooking it in fest beer and drinking Märzen.
Exactly. You cook it in the lighter beer. You drink the beefier beer with it. Yes.
Absolutely.
So talking about lobsters. So a long time ago, one year, we decided on opening day that we told everybody, in addition to whatever you're going to bring, bring one lobster.
Just one. Just bring one.
Just bring one lobster. That's all you have to do. Just bring a lobster.
Sacrifice.
You don't have to do anything. Just bring a lobster. So I
whole lobster.
A lobster.
Live.
One live lobster. Just bring a lobster. Okay. So
and you made them dance.
Yep, we made them dance, and I brought my big brew pots,
The B-52s.
and we steamed 40 lobsters.
There you go.
Oof.
Okay, we put them on like a big card table. We just piled them up with butter. It was not. It's like go.
Did everybody tag their lobster, or they just grabbed the first?
Grab whatever
That's
lobster.
mine. That's mine. That's yours. That's yours.
Right.
It's crustacean heaven.
We,
right there.
it was a huge pile of lobsters that we
great.
did. It was nuts. It was just like the big lobster.
There
boil.
is
It's like-
nothing wrong with a huge pile of lobster.
I don't
So-
see anything wrong with a huge pile of lobster, to be honest with you.
So on lobster, LBI has a famous restaurant called Howard's.
Yep.
Okay. So Howard's,
Long Beach Island in New Jersey, for those of you that aren't familiar with LBI.
What the acronym stands for,
Right.
yes.
right, correct.
And
So-
Howard stands for Howard's.
Howard's.
Howard's stands for
And
Howard.
Howard's is a big restaurant that's been around for a long time, and Howard's has French fried lobster. French fried lobster is basically breaded and deep fried lobster pieces.
Yep.
It's just dunked in butter. It's just like
Oh, yeah.
Lobster
And it's so
fingers.
good because you dunk it in the butter. That breading on the lobster pieces just soak up all that butter. So it's even more. It's like, oh my God, I
Right.
need more of this. This is
so.
great.
So basically, you get 10 pieces of lobster, the claw, the tail, the whatever. It's like, but
It's all
just
good.
the
All
pieces.
sweet, nice, tender. It's great. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this may be sacrilege to some, but the claw is my favorite part. Absolutely my favorite
Oh.
part.
Well, I mean, yeah,
A lot of people love the tail.
Tail's my favorite part, but the claw's a damn close second. So
There was a
Yeah.
bar I used to go to, and they catered to freaks like me, where they knew they sold so much lobster tail with their surf and turf that one of the appetizers or one of the bar foods you could get
with claws.
a bucket of
a
claws.
bucket of claws. Gotta
I
love
would
it.
definitely take an appetizer, a bucket of claws.
Oh, that was
I
the
love it.
best. But I've always loved the claw meat more than the tail, and mostly because a lot of the restaurants I went to did not know how to cook a lobster, so the tail meat was always overcooked. So that's why I fell in love with claw meat, because it's kind of hard to overcook claw meat.
It is. It is. You can overcook a tail. It's hard. Well, if you're steaming the whole thing, though, it's going to be fine. If you're just cooking the tail, you can overcook it. But if you're doing a whole lobster, odds are you're going to take it off in a certain amount of time, so you'll be fine. But.
The way I look at it, lobster claw to me, as opposed to tail, is chicken thigh to chicken breast. Chicken breast, to make chicken breast tasty and beautiful, you have to have some finesse and
You have to be really good.
Be really good at what you're doing, yeah.
But claw and chicken thigh,
You can screw up chicken thighs to the end and still be good.
And still tasty.
you've got to be really talented to fuck up chicken thigh.
Well, they're dark meat, right? The dark meat's going to be a little more tender. It's going to be a little more
fat
juicy.
in
It's
it.
got more
There's a lot
fat in
more
it.
fat.
It's going to have more. Yeah, it's going to be.
And as you can tell, I like the fat.
Well,
So
Cheers, gentlemen. I think my
Cheers.
wife wants me to go have
well,
dinner.
on that note, we are going to wrap it up for today.
Yes,
stay
we are.
there for 2 seconds, Brian. We'll talk to you 1 second when you hang up. We'll wrap the show
Yep.
for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. For those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you that want to just listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our brand new host, Spreaker, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher for another 2 days.
2 days, yes, for 2 days. They go under after this.
They're done after the 31st, yeah. Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and some brand new platforms, Cashbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, and Podchaser. And pretty much anywhere you can get podcast hosting, you can find our podcast.
We're like a plague.
We are, yeah. You can find it anywhere. And if
A
you
good
haven't done
plague.
a good one, yeah. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Enjoy however you're going to enjoy it. Enjoy it, folks. Enjoy Labor Day weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink
Do it
responsibly.
safe. Do it safe.
Do it safe. Enjoy. Get ready for, it's beer season in 3 days, folks. September
I'm
1st,
brewing
beer
this
season.
weekend.
I'm
Oh,
coming
nice.
up.
This weekend.
I'm coming up.
Okay, cool.
You got it. Brian, thank you so much for coming on. We love these tailgate specials every year. It's great. I love it. Have a great weekend again. Enjoy, drink responsibly, but drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Enjoy. Bye.
Cheers.
Nice.
They found him face down in his waffles, maple syrup dripping from his fake rub. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he shit out of love.